everybody, and welcome to this Move, Sweat and Suffer podcast with your co-founders Lee Hazard and myself, Joe Hotai. Well, everybody, as we've mentioned, we've got the amazing privilege and honor to have Iron Wolf himself here give us some of his valuable time and to sit here with us, spend some time with us, and to share some of his knowledge and experience in response to questions that both Lee and I have, and that also that we've received from some of those who are part of this amazing community, which Iron Wolf has created and is the founder of. And that's why we've just been so pumped and so excited to have him on here. And we've been somewhat nervous. I think Lee's probably been a little bit more nervous than usual these last few days leading up to here. So we'll see how things go here. But mate, we're just very privileged. Obviously, if you can correct any of the things, everybody knows who you are. So some of the other guests that we've had on within this community, we've asked them to introduce themselves a little bit, but maybe you can correct me as we go. But you're an active service Marine. You've been about 14, 15 years service at the moment. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, I'm active duty Marine. I've been serving for 15 years in the Marine Corps, and kind of my side thing, I guess,
Yeah.
is I do the whole Iron Wolf thing, which I run a YouTube channel, run social media to give people free content, tough, realistic training, no fluff, and I just put it out there, and hope people will get better, a little bit better from using my content.
Awesome, man. And I think it's safe to say that that has been the case. Both Lee and I have felt that, and a number of other people that we've currently interviewed and had conversations with, and people more to come. So we really appreciate you, man, and thank you very much for that. I'm going to flick on over to Lee because I know he's got a few questions first up, and we just want to dive into it with you, Art, if that's okay. We're mindful and respectful of your time, and we want to try to get as much information from you for our audience as we can, man.
Yeah, let's get it in.
Well, first and foremost, I love how you describe one of the most powerful and fitness styles that's had the biggest impact in the globe, in my opinion, as a side hustle. So that's quite an interesting wee thing. But one question I've got straight off the bat is what inspired you to start a YouTube channel bringing this brand of fitness to the world? And were you ever aware of the impact they're going to have on the fitness community?
Yeah, so let me backtrack a little bit so you kind of understand how my channel started.
Yep.
So I've been training calisthenics for over a decade. Um, when I was in Afghanistan, I was serving with a friend, and I would make workouts for my guys for my team, and he would constantly tell me like, hey, you should branch out. A lot of people could benefit from this stuff. Maybe you think about social media, YouTube. I was not interested at all, and this was around 2009, 2010. I couldn't give a shit about social media. I didn't care. I didn't have any kind of social media platforms. I said, I'm just responsible for training my men and training myself to be fit. It's part of the job, mission oriented, tough, realistic training, and that's all I care about. And he continued throughout the years to kind of like, be that like constant reminder. He's like, hey, like people will benefit from this. You should do it. You should do it. You should do it. So in 2019, I came back to the States from Okinawa, Japan. I was serving in Japan for 2 years. Came back to the States, and he once again said, he's like, hey man, listen. He said you should really do a YouTube channel before it's too late. You have a wealth of knowledge. You understand programming. You're a good leader. You're articulate. And this is all the stuff like coming from him. Like he gave me a rundown of all the whys I should do it. Now, I didn't view myself as that. Like once again, I just like I don't care. Social media is whack. It's not my style. I'm a very like conservative guy. I'm not really like outgoing. Don't like any of the flash. But and I said, all right. So I created the YouTube channel. And it wasn't actually even named Iron Wolf. It was just named my name, Arthur Schwartzberg, and that's it. Like not creative at all. Like no fluff. It was just like a boring name. And I started putting out short videos, short little routines, and that's how it started rolling. So it's really all thanks to my friend Billy. He's the one that constantly pushed me to do it, and eventually I listened to him, and I just created the channel. Now, I had no idea that it was going to get this big. I didn't even think anybody cared, or my mind wasn't in being an influencer. I already had my career as a United States Marine. I was pretty, successful in that, and that was kind of my main focus. And I didn't think that I was even going to be able to juggle both things at the same time, you know. But here we are, and it has made an impact. And from day one, none of the stuff has changed. The origins remain the same. The content remains the same. The mindset has remained the same. Whether when I had 0 subscribers to, and it's like 158K right
Yeah,
now.
that's
So
awesome.
what was the video when you knew like you were on to something? What was the video or the workout when you noticed that things were starting to take an upturn? Because me personally, I was late to the Iron Wolf game, so I never seen the true evolution of the path that your YouTube videos take. So it was like I'm onto something here.
I started to realize because I would get messages from people all over the world, from different walks of life. I would get messages from guys in Tibet, Uganda,
Wow.
and you name, crazy, to me like these, places that I would probably never go visit in my life, and I would never really meet these people in my life, but
Mm.
somehow we're connected in that we have, the same goals or desires. To be better, to be tougher than the rest. And that's when I started to realize that these people really are buying into the training, and they're really genuinely thanking me for making an impact. And when I started reading all the different stories that people share, like your training helped me quit drugs, your training helped me quit alcohol, your training helped me get into a selection in the military that I was going for. It changed my life. And when you see people talking about how it changed their life for the positive, that's when I realized that, like holy shit, like I'm making an impact on people's lives. And that's when it's like, all right, well, I can't stop now. I want to continue to create better content. I want to give people something, and I always want to set the example. For me, that was really important to say that, I'm going to do this routine, but before anybody else does it, I'm going to be the one that does it first, and I'm going to show you how it's done, as a leader should, of course.
Mm.
Yeah. So do you
Man,
think the leader that you obviously use in the military, I definitely noticed that you can see it coming right
Yeah,
videos of you having these workouts and so forth. And that to me is a very profound experience training wise.
yeah. One of the best types of leadership is really, self leadership. How can you lead others when you can't lead yourself?
Yeah.
It's real easy to be led, actually, because you have somebody setting the example for you. You have somebody motivating you, telling you what to do. What happens when nobody's there? What happens if it's just you, right? There's nobody waking you up. There's no team to train with. There's no coach. There's no influencer. And how do you kind of wake up, and you grind through those days where you don't feel like doing it. You just don't want to do it. You're sore, you're uncomfortable, you're tired, all that stuff. How can you lead yourself? And I want to show people that you can lead yourself. Really, in the end, you don't need anybody to reach your goals. You always have it within you. You look in the mirror, and that's the only person in life that's going to give you what you need. Everything else is nice to have. It's good to have direction, but eventually you're going to have to become self-sustaining in order for you to achieve their goals. But I would like to think that I'm kind of like a stepping stone for people to kind of show them like, hey, this is what you need. This is a blueprint, a rough outline of how you could get your shit together, and then be self-sufficient, because Iron Wolf is not going to be there your whole life, and I don't plan on being a social media influencer my whole life. But I could definitely show people what worked for me and what are the steps you need to take. And it just comes down to discipline in the end. It's just a shitload of discipline and being uncomfortable all the time.
Brilliant.
Awesome, man. Awesome. How do you and shout out to Billy, your friend Billy. I haven't seen it. What's Billy up to these days? The guy that helped you, sort of encouraged you, I guess, and
Well, Billy's retired now. He's a retired Marine. He did
Right.
20 years of service. He was kind of like an older brother to me.
Yeah.
He was my sergeant when I was young, and he was he was he's a wonderful person.
Mm.
Very smart, very intelligent, very tough, and those are the qualities that he displayed as a leader. And I don't believe leaders are born. I believe leaders need to be molded
Mm.
and mentored, and you become a leader by seeing how everybody's led, because you can't be a good leader without being a good follower first.
Mm.
It doesn't happen. You always got to start from the bottom. And I learned a lot of stuff from him. But yeah, he's enjoying his time now. He lives in Las Vegas with his family.
Yeah. That's
Viva
awesome.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, yeah, he's living it up.
And how do you, man, you've mentioned so many um, cool things just with regards to your responses to these questions that he's had. That juggling aspect, particularly because I think, as if I think back, I'm like Lee. I sort of found and came across you very late in terms of how long you've been around for. But one of the first ones I saw was just you out. It looked like you maybe in a forward operating base or something like that, doing burpee routines and stuff out in the sort of the desert in a compounded type area. And I thought, what the heck's going on here? And so I clicked on that and started watching that. Loved it straight away. Just sort of, I was like, all right, that's so cool. It's just he's just in his own space. He's probably just in his own head. People in that are moving around. I could see people in the background looking over. Who's this guy here? How difficult is it for you, if at all, for you to maintain the not only your channel, but also the military service aspect of it? And is there any sort of operational security type stuff around that from your superiors or anything like that in the Defence Force with regards to you? Because you're obviously very prominent, very well known, but also active service Marine.
Uh, so break down the question. It was never hard for me to do this stuff without the YouTube channel, the social media, because this has been my routine for years. It does become difficult, juggling, answering people's questions,
Mm, yeah, I bet.
reading the comments, because I try to be involved, because I understand, when you're looking for answers, and especially, you got to remember where you came from.
Mm,
As a beginner, the fitness world might be intimidating, and there's so much information coming in now. You should do this, you should do that, you should take this supplement, this workout is the best. So getting involved and answering people's questions, that's the difficult part,
mm,
because I'm a one-man show. I don't have a marketing team or anything like that. It's just me and my cell phone, and I'll scroll through the stuff, and I'll see a question, and I think this person genuinely needs an answer. I really like to answer a lot of the beginners' questions, because I believe, like, they're the most important audience, because they'll stick around when someone shows them that somebody gives a shit, right? You just got to give a shit about the people. They're watching my channel, and I appreciate that. So it becomes time consuming. Um, yeah, I was working out in that forward operating base. I was in the Middle East, but that's a normal thing. Wherever I go, and I'll start training, and people are like, "Holy shit! Like, this guy's like, looks like he freaking jumped in a pool." I'm like soaking wet. I look like shit, probably dying through the reps. I don't really care. I'm in my own zone. I could really care less what people think about me. I'm investing in myself. It might be a little weird, but I get looks all the time. I kind of learn to block it out. Sometimes people come up to me and like, "What are you doing? Like, what is this shit?" And I was like, "I'm training. I don't know what the fuck you're doing." Um,
what does it look like?
all right. But and as far as going operational security, I just being in the military, you just have to be mindful of where you film, and
Yeah.
it's just, certain places, you got to be careful showing stuff in the background.
Mm,
But as far there's no issues. My unit
awesome.
knows what I do. They're supportive. A lot of my Marines are supportive of me.
That's great.
I've met plenty of Marines that came up to me, and they're like, "Holy shit, Iron Wolf," and they want to take a picture, which is really still weird. Still weird with me. Um, because I'm so far away from that kind of mentality. And I'll sit down and I'll talk to them, um, kind of give them some of my advice. Especially I like talking to the younger guys. For me, I think it's very important to invest in the younger generation. It's really tough for them, and there's not a lot of good role models now. It's difficult, and they got to have the confidence to go on. And I feel like they're getting pulled in so many different directions, and it's good to ground them and kind of be like, hey, listen, A, B, C, and D, stick to this plan. Like I genuinely want you to be successful, and those are especially for my younger Marines, because I know how it is to be in that spot, and not have any kind of direction or discipline, but kind of still feel like I should have some. I just don't know where to pull it from.
Wow, that's awesome, man. So insightful but powerful as well. Just listening to your comments, it's obvious that you have a genuine care for people, and I love how you mentioned the replying to the more so the beginners with the questions, because yeah, they're the ones genuinely and generally, like you're saying, seeking answers, and to feel that a connection from somebody like yourself that would give them the time, like Lee and I, like you giving us some time,
Yeah.
is huge, man. Is huge for not only just for the individual, but for from a personal growth, from a confidence perspective. Like for me, if it wasn't for Lee, and Lee will probably speak to this, I probably wouldn't have had the confidence to reach out and go, hey, Iron Wolf, would you come on our podcast? But so that's where Lee's been great. And I guess I got a little bit of a question here for Lee, which is in relation to yourself, Iron Wolf. How did you feel going into and contacting Iron Wolf for us, man?
Well, one thing that struck me about Iron Wolf was his accessibility, and when he talks about like commenting on like questions in his YouTube channel, it was the first moment when that clicked in my head was when he was putting up stories of people doing his workouts. And I remember they put my first one up, and I was walking about my work with this big smile on my face, like an absolute gimp. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm a 43-year-old man walking about with this beard, and I'm acting like some love-struck teenager in my work because some guys put up a picture of me doing burpees in my living room on his Instagram. Do you know what I mean? And actually, I got a guy in my work watching his videos, and he came up the next day. He says, "I seen you in that Iron Wolf channel. What was that all about?" So that accessibility, like, kind of blew my mind. And you know what? It's like fitness. The fitness industry is so driven by narcissism. Like a lot of these guys, they don't want to talk to people. They just want to kind of flex their muscles, do their wee shitty workouts, and just get the social media fame. When I never get that impression with art, so I knew he was accessible. The next step was me and a couple of friends sent Art a Glasgow Rangers football top, and like my friend Joe for Chile, he was the one who instigated this.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's texting me and he's like, I'm going to send IMO for Rangers top. And we're like, what the fuck? And next thing he's wearing it. And it was that connection with his fan base or his followers that just blew my mind. And when he was like, when he honoured us by wearing our football top, I thought, "Do you know what? I'm going to ask him to come on this podcast. All I can say is no, but I knew he would. I knew he would reply at least. So that was one thing that overwhelmed me was the accessibility of art and his insistence on like communicating with his fan base, so to speak.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I guess my question for you, Art, is how does, because that's just one example, but this community that you've created, that you're the founder of, that we have the utmost respect for you and love what you've done, are you able to describe or tell us how that makes you feel as a person, as the leader of the pack?
Well, first off, I'm very humbled, and it's still kind of hard to accept sometimes that I have such a following. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm able to connect and reach so many people and help them, and that pushes me to continue to set the example, to hold the line, to set that standard, because when you have people relying on you, it becomes a whole different ball game. Your actions, your words impact people drastically. So I need to be held accountable as well, probably even more than anybody else. And I accept that. That's why I believe in transparency. Please hold me accountable. Please tell me, if I'm doing something that's jacked up, or if the standard is falling a little bit. I'm open to criticism from the community, because I just see us as all one. We're like a family. I'm no better than anybody else. I'm no different than anybody else. We're still on the same journey. We still have the same paths, and we have the same ideology and connection. And if you're training with me, then I already know what you're about. Yeah, you don't even have to explain it, because I feel the same way you feel. We just want to train hard. We want to be real, and we want to be a little bit different, like Lee said about the fitness community. It's about growing mentally and physically as well, because the mental toughness aspect in the end, that's gonna beat any kind of physicality. It's how do
Yeah.
you endure, and how do you train train the mind. And there's a lot of tough people in the community. They're posting crazy routines, and I know a lot of them got inspired from watching my routines, and they take it and they run with it and they mold it, and now it becomes their own thing. Whatever little twist that they want to put on their training. So now they develop their own style, and it's a continuation of my style, and it's really interesting to see it progress, and everybody puts their own flavor on the training, but the standards don't really change though. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with that more because, like, me and Joe had a conversation about the burpee, so to speak, and how it evolves with your training style. You add your own wee signature flourish to your burpees, but they all come from the same place ultimately.
yeah, I mean, we all have our own styles. I'm a more of a strict guy. I like to accentuate a lot of the reps. That's my style. Some guys flow a little bit better. Is there a right or wrong way? I don't think so. As long as you keep it clean and you keep it honest in your training, I think it's just interesting to see the different styles. Like my friend Burpees King, he flows really smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The way he pushes up, and his transitions are, are very smooth. And the way I do my burpees, I used to do a lot of 8 count bodybuilders. That used to be kind of like the Marine Corps burpee. And when I say a lot, I mean like that's all I did for years. Just like by the numbers, boom, boom, boom. So then when you see my style carry over to even the one pumps, I always like to press out on the top, and then stand up. That's my style.
yeah.
And I've seen everything in between. But that's how we continue to grow and be like a melting pot of cultures and styles.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How did
So
those? Oh,
sorry,
sorry, go.
sorry, Joe.
No, you go, Lee. You
How,
go.
how do you like? It's interesting you talk about how there's no right or wrong way to do a burpee because you know yourself. You get these comments that kick in, and everybody's got their own idea of what a burpee should be, and they start to become quite emotionally involved in the subject, and it just develops into these arguments. How do you deal with these people?
Most of the time I ignore them. Sometimes they'll piss me off, so I'll just pin their comments. And I'll
Yeah,
I'll let the community kind of
Yeah,
deal with that
address it.
stuff. I just don't understand why people want to criticize other people for no reason, especially when you don't even understand um, the impact of my community and how many people are involved. And when I say there's no wrong way to do a burpee, I'm just talking about like my style of burpees, and like I compared and contrast like my style and Burpees King style. But I definitely don't advocate the other kind of style of burpees where they throw themselves on the floor. Looks like hot garbage.
soup sandwich.
Yeah, yeah, soup sandwich, sloppy as shit. And if you want to do that shit, go ahead. But they try to, and it's few and far between. I really don't get a lot of haters. And when they are, it's I don't know, they're just a bunch of clowns.
Yeah.
I just try not to focus on that, honestly. But sometimes, it can't get under my skin. I'm human. I just get pissed off and like, but for the most part, I try to, not give him the time of day.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. That's great. That actually, Lee, that was going to be the question I was asked, because Lee's had a few
Sorry.
comments come through on his, but no, you've answered it well, and I think the same. Just ignore them, or I like how you mentioned you'd pin it to the top, let the community address it.
I know, it's like sometimes when I get these comments, I'm like, should I tag the Iron Wolf in? Like that way you would get your big brother round to kick somebody's ass. You're writing these comments, so like, should I tag? I'm like, no, just fuck it, forget it.
Yeah, it just comes from ignorance. It just comes
Yeah,
from ignorance and insecurity.
100%. 100%.
Well, it's like James Bruce said, it's like these guys, they never put their own videos up. They never show you their burpees. They're quick to criticize, but they never back up their claims.
Yeah, it's always easy to criticize the man in the arena,
Yeah.
but you don't have the balls to show, your routines. I always put up my routines. I have no issues. I know where I stand, so they criticize me, whatever. I really don't care, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that like sort of draws people towards your channel, particularly for me, because one thing, like when I first discovered your videos, there was one thing that you said that really stood out and was really profound, like to me personally. It was, if you don't like the way I train, then this channel's not for you. Just move on. There was no sort of like trying to suck MD in. It was just like, listen, if this isn't for you, that's okay, that's fine. But if this is for you, then let's just roll with it. Do your own thing, whatever. And that was just something that stuck in my head personally.
Yeah, you can't please everybody, and I don't expect everybody to buy in. And yeah, if you don't like it, you keep walking. But I know that.
Love it. Love it. Hey,
But I know a lot more people enjoy it and benefit from it. They just haven't tried it yet, and they probably would get crushed 2 minutes in. It's all good.
The first 5 reps. Hey, how did organizations or companies, it's obvious, that have started reaching out to you to promote their supplements and those sorts of things, how did that start to happen, and how have you found that? Have you had to turn some people away because it doesn't align with Iron Wolf and what you stand for, or has everybody that's so far, you don't need to name all of them, but if you want to you can, but has everybody so far that's come to you and said, hey, would you mind promoting our stuff, have they been on board, and have you found that they align with what it is, what your message is, and what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I get a lot of messages from supplement companies, mostly supplement companies, and I had to turn a lot away because I don't like their products. Currently, I'm an affiliate with Snap Supplements. They're actually a health and wellness supplement company. A lot of their stuff is made from natural products. A lot of stuff made from like vegetables, like beets and greens and plant protein workout. So I really like that company. It's clean and it's ethical. So when they reached out to me, I did my research and I was like, all right, these are the products that honestly I would take and I would recommend, because one thing I did not want to do is just be a face and a name to a product that I would never take or would recommend to people.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that probably draws to the appeal of everybody wants to make money in the end, and they want to get their product out and cast that wide net. But I wouldn't go with any supplement company. I've also had companies that have like CBD and cannabis reach out to me, and I can't advertise that. I'm in the military, and that's not allowed for us. So I have to stand the moral high ground. And still, remain unchanged and, be a man of my word and continue to set the example and stand for what I believe in, because in the end, that's all you have in the end. And that stuff is invaluable, your character. So you can't sell your character for a quick buck.
Awesome, man. That's great to hear. It's so good to hear. And thank you for sharing that. I guess from from your side, from your perspective, Art, with regards to when these people reach out to you, and it was great to hear you say you do your own due diligence and research and stuff on them. Have you has that impacted, or have you found that sort of, I guess, when these companies and that are coming to you and asking you, hey, can you sell this product or would you promote this product? Did you ever think anything like that would happen to you in terms of where you're at and what you've done and what you've created? Did you think that that was a possibility?
No, I never thought that was a possibility. I remember when I started getting these offers trickling in, I thought they were spam. I
Yeah, right.
I even deleted some. I didn't give them the time of day. I just didn't think that anybody would, be interested. A guy like doing burpees by himself, and then they would see like some kind of a market value. But you have to believe in yourself, and you have to
Yeah.
eventually believe in the brand, right? You have to believe in your own brand and
Yeah.
believe that what you have to offer is valuable, and kind of have that confidence without being cocky or egotistical. So
Yeah.
now I believe that what I have is valuable, and if other brands or affiliates they want to collab with me, or get in sync and promote something, I'm about it. It just has to be something that once again aligns with my morals and values.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. How,
Have you
how
ever
did that?
considered, sorry, Joe, have you ever
No, go.
considered like doing online coaching or anything of that nature?
I have, and I've done some one-on-one workouts with some of the subscribers, but it's time consuming,
Mm,
and right now probably not happening.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Is that mainly just because of time? Time for you?
yeah, I think it's just because of time, and doing the one-to-one workouts. I have to work out if I'm training with somebody else,
Yeah.
and if I would have like 5 6 clients in a day, then like I'll probably end up being dead by the end of the week. I have like 20 workouts.
Yeah. Yeah.
20 workouts
True.
in a
True.
week. But whenever I've done one-on-one sessions with the clients, like I'm all in. Like we're training together. I'm not like standing
Mm,
next to you until you're like, next you're gonna do 20 burpees. This is your next exercise. Like we're a team. Like we're suffering together.
that's awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know if this question's been asked. It probably has, but where did the inspiration for you to come up with Iron Wolf come from?
Yeah. So I went through some military schools,
Yep.
and they have something called the class Ironman. It's the Marine who runs the highest physical fitness score, and they get awarded the Ironman award.
Right.
So I took the first part iron, and then I really liked wolf as an animal and what it represents. So one of the interesting things about the wolf is, of course, it could operate by itself,
Mm,
but then it also has the backing of the pack. So if it needs to, take care of business, it knows that the pack always has its back, and it's not afraid to be an independent operator. And I kind of always liked that idea. And then there's also this like really interesting quote. It goes like this: the lion and the tiger might be more powerful, but the wolf never performs in the circus. Um,
I like
yeah,
that. I
love
like
it.
that.
Love it.
yeah. So I
So
really I
true.
really like the idea of using wolf. So I just combined those two names, and that's where kind of Iron Wolf came from. And then started doing the branding, and it just kind of took off.
Awesome. Awesome,
So
man.
what was the evolution of your like the business aspect of Iron Wolf? Because I'm assuming like when you've went into the YouTube videos, you've just kind of had one idea in mind, and that's just getting the workouts out. But you can see there's like the clothing line and so forth. These things have started to come up, and what was the point where you decided to like capitalize on your growing popularity, or was that some ideas that were put towards you by the community?
No, nothing was put towards the community. I just wanted to make something a little bit more interesting and appealing, and I felt like I had to, polish the product, because you always kind of have to evolve. You can't
Yeah.
stay stagnant. So
Yeah.
what might have worked in the past might not work now. So I just wanted to continue, slightly refine the product, because I believe that you need some kind of a progression. And as the audience grows, I also want to grow with my audience, and have something to offer to them. So that's kind of where I stand right now. I'm going to continue to make stuff a little bit more visually appealing, clean it up a little bit. Always still continue to post full routines and workouts. That stuff hasn't changed, but just kind of a little bit more polished product in the end.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so with your, have you thought about, is there a fitness app like an Iron Wolf Burpees app that you think, which has a whole bunch of, because I understand like it would be difficult, people wanting to do collabs with you and wanting to train with you, and you'd be a wreck, like having to try to make time for everybody. Has anybody planted that seed? Is that something that you would consider creating, like this app where you would be posting your full workout routine of what you would do on a daily anyway, and then but it's been captured and it's there. People can slow it down a little bit if we want to try to do it at the
Yeah.
same pace.
Yeah, so there's a app actually in the works right now. It's still in the
Awesome.
beginning stages, but it's gonna have different examples of different burpees. It's gonna have some
Yeah.
of the more traditional foundational routines, like the Iron Wolf short card, the long card, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be kind of like a one-stop shop, where people could go through the app, and they could click the links and they'll take them directly to YouTube. So it's kind of almost be like some playlist. It'll be like burpee only workouts, warm up routines, full body routines, and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
examples of every burpee, and then working on doing like kind of like a daily block of like what workout Iron Wolf did today. So I'll be kind of daily updating, and maybe even thinking about throwing in some nutrition stuff of what I eat in the day, which actually I'm really terrible about eating. I don't eat enough.
Actually, that
I'm
was,
always
yeah.
on the go. Yeah, I've been trying to get some more calories in. I did gain a little bit of weight. Trying to go back to what I was before I messed around being a vegan for like 3 months. But
A
Yeah.
vegan?
yeah, yeah,
That's
in
hardcore.
July. Yeah, and from I think from June to August, I was a vegan for 90 days. I just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you
And
find the overall
mm,
experience?
It's not for me. It was
yeah.
not for me. I don't want to talk bad on people
Yeah.
that are vegetarian or
Yeah.
vegan or
Yeah.
anything like that. It just did not work well with my body. I was doing too much volume.
Yeah.
I felt like I was under recovering, and I lost quite a bit of weight and muscle mass.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like,
So how did you
no.
put that muscle mass back on? What have you been eating like to bulk back up? Because I noticed you've been looking quite jacked lately in your recent vids.
So it started with getting a surplus of calories. So I've been
Yeah.
eating your basic clean proteins from your chicken, tuna, fish, turkey, things like that.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of rice and potatoes. I love carbs. Honestly, I feel like for the kind of training I do, it's very beneficial that you have
Mm-hmm.
high carb stores in yourself, so you could endure the longer workouts and not burnt out.
Yeah.
Same thing, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, just eating more food in general, because I burn through a lot during my workouts, and then changing the style of my workouts. I've been doing a lot of dips and pull-ups, and also throwing in the higher pump burpees, that like
Yeah.
the 5 pumps, the 6 pumps, double Navy SEALs, all that stuff. Will pack on more muscle, because you're just feeding the muscle with the blood flow, and you need to do those workouts. You can't just do regular burpees all the time,
Mm-hmm.
because eventually you're gonna plateau. So you have
Yeah.
to switch up your routines. Variety is really the key. But yeah, you just
Yeah.
gotta pump that muscle, and you just gotta throw those high reps
Yeah.
in of push-ups, and you gotta make your workouts more intense, and that's gonna shock
Yeah.
that body. It's gonna grow. You're gonna force it to grow.
One thing that caught me by surprise was the muscle building properties of burpees, particularly the Navy SEALs. I was not prepared for the muscle gain that these burpees that keep that body under that constant tension would stimulate. Like the me personally, like the growth I've just experienced doing Navy SEALs and chin ups, high volume has been way beyond any bodybuilding exercises or techniques that I'd been doing for the last 20 years. That was just something that really blew my mind.
Yeah, it blasts your body. A lot of people underestimate body weight training because it's something that they heard from somebody, and they just have this notion that you can't build muscle or you can't get fit without weights, which is, an absolute lie. Whenever you're doing a chin up, you're pulling, like, your whole weight. Like I'm 87 kilograms right now, so
Right.
when I'm hitting my chin ups and dips, I'm moving my body weight completely all the time. It's not like, you pick up a set of dumbbells and then when you get tired, you could pick up a lighter set of dumbbells, right? Your weight doesn't change, so it teaches you how to control your weight and manipulate your weight, and you're putting, a lot more stress on your body, especially with the Navy SEALs too. The high pump burpees, you're constantly keeping, yourself under tension. That stimulates the nervous system as well. So, and you're working your compound movements as well. You can't do a push-up or a burpee without working 5 6 muscles at the same time, and it teaches your body how to move and sync.
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome.
absolutely.
Awesome. Hey, with regards to your training, do you have any days off? I noticed in one of your interviews, I'm not sure if it was recent, but you'll have what you call active recovery days, where you might do a 7 mile run or that sort of stuff. Do you ever take like a full day off where you won't do anything, or you so hardwired that's like, no, I've got to do something, I've got to move?
Um, I very, very rarely take full rest days. I have to be like pretty jacked up to do it. I like doing active recovery where you do light cardio. You just have to understand like what active recovery means is like when you do your runs, you try not to raise your heart rate and you go at a very comfortable pace. That actually heals you for the next day because it gets all the blood flow going into the muscles. It breaks up the lactic acid, and it also keeps your mind engaged. I hate not doing anything. It messes with me. Just sitting on the couch, it drives me crazy. So I just like to get out there. Even like if you go play a sport or something, go jog, go ride a bike, something like that. I believe that we're meant to move every day. I don't think that you need to do a full rest day. I've seen more benefits from doing active recovery days. I've noticed for me personally, when I would take a full rest day, the next day I would be very stiff.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
But of course, you have to understand your body. You have to listen to your body, and you have to do your proper mobility, your warm up, and your cool down. You have to stretch to mitigate all those things that happen when people get injured. And most of the time, people get burnt out or injured or they're overly sore because they don't properly warm up and stretch after. They don't do the maintenance. They completely neglect everything, but they think that just doing the workout is going to carry you through. But there's a lot of factors that lead to
Mm,
being physically fit and healthy. And it's the workout is just one small part of it. It's are you doing your mobility? Are you doing your stretching? Are you warming up? How's your nutrition? How's your sleep? How's your stress management? And then when you start adding all those things up, like, man, that's a lot of stuff that I have to, really mind. And if two or three of those things are off, if you're eating like shit and you're sleeping like shit and you're not stretching, but you're killing it on your workouts, then you're really missing out on a lot of the benefits. If you could just kind of, fine tune and have a little bit of discipline to, go to bed earlier, watch what you eat, spend 10 minutes, stretching after your workout. And you just got to build good habits. And I feel like when you start to, dial it in like that, you're going to need less rest days because you're going to be functioning at a very high level. And all those little things add up, and all those simple things, when brought together, it's a high level of complexity. And that's what you talking about having a complete and disciplined routine.
Beautiful, man. Awesome. And I love those points. There's a lot here to digest and unpack, and I could sit and carry on diving into those, but I'm trying to get as much information as we can from you, and leverage your experience and the example that you set for everybody within this community. I just want to ask you, so I've got some more questions, but I'll ask you another one. Nutrition, do you have a cheat meal? And if you do, what is your favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal. So I like to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I like ice cream. Yeah, if I want to have an ice cream, I'll go and grab an ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about it. If I'm doing the challenges that I put out, then I don't have anything during the challenges, because that's one of the rules for when we're doing the monthly challenges is, no sugar, no alcohol. I don't drink as it is, but I
Yeah.
definitely cut out the sugar. And I think it's important for people to, kind of follow like the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you're very disciplined, and then,
Mm.
20% of the time, if you feel like, you want to get an ice cream or you want to go out with the family and enjoy a meal, I think that's good for mental health as well, because that's going to keep you on track. Because if there's no such thing as absolutism. If you think you're just going to, eat, 100% clean, 365 days a year, you're going to crack, and in the end, you're going to go on a binge. So, plan on having a cheat meal. It's not going to kill you if you're doing all those things right, and you're training hard, and you're eating, clean, 80-90% of the time. Then, one or two ice creams a month is not going to, make a dent in anything.
See, when we're talking ice cream, though, we're talking about a full tub or just like a couple of scoops. I think we need to clarify that, because
Yeah, yeah.
a full tub, I'll annihilate a full tub, easy.
Yeah, maybe like a Haagen-Dazs, like a half pint. That stuff is good. Or yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Especially those that have kids or that go out with the family. You know,
Yeah.
Nice.
don't get too crazy about it. But don't eat that shit every day. One ice cream is not going to kill you. If you eat ice cream every day, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
Because they bring out these Halo tops, and like it's like 200 calories, but it's not the same. It's like eating oxygen.
Yeah,
You
Halo
know what I
Top.
mean?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but I don't. You got to eat the real deal. That's also like,
Yeah.
when you get your cheat meal, you get a proper ice cream,
Proper.
and
Yeah,
yeah, you enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a family, Art? You have wife and children and that sort of thing?
No, so I have a son. Um, I'm not married.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
have a son. He lives in a different state.
Right.
See him routinely.
Yeah.
He trains right now. He does jiu-jitsu.
Awesome.
He does burpees too. He's actually in great shape. He like yeah, 9 years old. He cranks out 100 burpees pretty casually actually.
Awesome. That's awesome. And so that's interesting. So the martial arts side, you're a martial arts instructor and stuff as well, Art, is that right?
Yeah, so I spent some time being a Marine Corps martial arts instructor trainer.
Right.
Marine Corps has a hand-to-hand combat.
Yep.
I was an instructor, and then I went and I got my instructor trainer qualification, which was I was the guy that trained the trainers.
Yep.
And it also has a lot of good benefits. There's a lot of discipline. A lot of it is, when we say martial arts, it's really a weapons-based martial arts system, meaning like, a lot of knife fighting, a lot of, stuff with the rifle, baton, stuff like that. It's a very militant style of fighting, not what people would think like, MMA.
Yeah.
A lot of it, it's a lot of joint manipulation. You're breaking, fingers and hands and, wrists, and it's not pretty, but
It's
that's
effective. Yeah.
yeah, it's effective, and I think it would be the most realistic thing you would do in a real life situation. You ain't doing spinning heel kicks
Yeah.
or anything like
Brutal
that.
and effective.
Yeah,
A bit like your workouts.
yeah, you're crushing somebody's windpipe. It's not.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Far out. there's a lot to, I've loved what I've heard about leadership, about example, about the need to look after yourself and your body mentally, physically, the preparation prior to exercise, and what you do during, and then just as important, looking after yourself after. the the need to the 80-20 rule, Lee. So it's 80% being on track, mate, not 80% ice cream and 20% on track. But
You're joking. You're
so much.
joking.
You're joking. But
Don't
man,
tell
it's
me
been,
that. I've got a tub of Ben and Jerry's sitting in the fridge.
yeah, I'm surprised you're not eating it now while we've got Art on the channel. No, but this is awesome. I just want to, Art, if I can. We had a couple of people. One of them was Busy Dad. He's so you're in California, right?
I am.
He's Busy Dad is one of the guys who's. I remember seeing one of his videos come out. His goal and his objective is to one day be worthy enough to do a workout alongside you. We had him on the podcast recently. Really great guy, very well spoken, very humble guy as well, much like yourself. But I said to him, I said, oh, well, we'll mention it to Art. Whatever he decides to do will be up to him. But he says he's tantalizingly close. He feels like you're tantalizingly close because he's in California as well. He goes, I would love to. I said, well, I'll let him know, but it'll be his call as to it. So we've done that part. We've mentioned that. But there's one thing here I want to read out to you, Art, and it's from a gentleman by the name of David Whitten in Canada. He knew that we were going to be having the privilege of having you on the podcast, and he wrote this down. I'll try and get through it as quick as I can. So he says, in December of 2019, I was just weeks away from my 40th birthday. For many months leading up to my big 4-0, I had been working hard to get in the best shape of my life with the goal to be fit at 40. Unfortunately, my fitness plans were derailed as I ended up getting 2 hernias at the same time and required immediate surgery. I ended up turning 40 and couldn't even pick up my kids. Needless to say, I was very disappointed with my fitness level at the age of 40. Fast forward to March 2020 and I was finally permitted to start light exercising. I couldn't lift weights, so I decided to look at CrossFit bodyweight routines. I was on YouTube and stumbled upon an Iron Wolf routine. From November 6, 2019, odd minutes were 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 15 squats. The even minutes were 12 burpees. I quickly fell in love with the calisthenics and burpee training, which I would attribute directly to me finding the Iron Wolf online. This is my favorite routine of all time and my go-to routine when I want to have a great training session. I'm almost 42 years old now, and I'm in the best shape of my life. Salute Iron Wolf and much respect for the solid training you've shared with us, David Whitten, Canada. I guess from my side, and it was really lovely to hear from David, and he's a great supporter within the community. How do those things, how does that make you feel, knowing the impact that you've had? I know you've talked about this at the start, and the people from around the world, probably places that you might never go to, but that's got to feel good, right? Like in a positive way, not in a bragging, boastful way, but how does that make you feel?
Yeah, once again, I'm just grateful that people accept my training and I'm able to make an impact on them. And when I hear stories like that, I always want to let people know that they're the really ones that did it. In the end, they're the ones that put the action, they put in the work. So they should be proud of themselves. I'm humbled that they're giving me a shout out and they're calling me out for that. But I want to tell them that I'm actually proud of them for taking those steps, taking those actions, because in the end it's always going to be on you to do the work. Nothing just happens. So David, I just want to say to David, congratulations. That's all your hard work, and you did it. So thank you.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Art. And yeah, it's been incredible seeing the impact and the influence that you do have globally, not just within this community, but people in general that may not be participants of the burpee as such, or in terms of doing as much high rep calisthenics, but people that I know and friends of mine that don't really do burpees, that sort of stuff, have heard the name Iron Wolf. They've heard the channel, they've seen the work and the example, and I guess some of them have been those that have gone on, seen it and gone, oh yeah, okay, that's probably not for me. And that's cool. That's what I love about your approach, your mindset, and the authenticity of what it is that you bring and share with this community. So just want to thank you for that, my friend, and really grateful.
Yeah, can I just pipe in as well? Like, I would just like to put it out there as well. Like, me personally, like, coming across the Iron Wolf videos was a very, very profound experience for me personally. Because I work in the fitness industry, I work in a gym. Training, like, I was floundering after about 20 years with no direction. I mean, I don't know, if, I was like Stevie Wonder on an episode of American Ninja. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't know where I was going. And when I came across when I came across Iron Will's videos, it was like a rocket ball up my arse basically, and everything's just went in a direction. I've never done workouts as exciting. I've never experienced results as profound. I've never felt so in charge mentally. And it was just through watching these videos of a guy doing burpees. So I really need to say thanks very much, Iron Will, Billy as well for
Yeah.
hassling you to putting these videos out. If it wasn't for Billy, maybe Billy should be getting the thanks here actually. If it wasn't for Billy, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, and I would still be fucking doing some stupid bodybuilding program and not getting any results. So thanks very much, mate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's great that we're constantly growing, and in the end we're really supporting each other. You support me, I support you. We all want the best for each other in the end, and that's where you become genuine. Where you want someone else to succeed, and you kind of lose that ego, and you don't become selfish, and you watch other people, and you're rooting for people you don't even know, but you're proud of them, and you watch them go through the struggles, and all the stories that people tag me on Instagram, and it's them like smiling, drenched in sweat, and I'm genuinely happy for these people. I don't even know them, but I'm rooting for you. Let's go. Like this is great.
Yeah.
Like I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of everybody that takes that step to try, to at least try to step in the arena and give it
Yeah.
a shot. And that's all you have to do is just try, and you'll be
Yeah.
surprised of what you could do. Stop questioning yourself, have a little bit of confidence, and don't have fear. Just drop that fear and commit. Just go all in. And once you could genuinely say that I've committed and I'm all in, you'll be surprised of the potential and the mental toughness and the talent that each one of us possess. But our mind, our mind can play tricks on us, and we have a lot of fear and uncertainty and doubt, and we're kind of afraid of the unknown, and we don't want to be uncomfortable. Once you could fight that stuff, and once you could really stop giving a fuck about everything else and just train, you'll see a lot more clarity, and you'll get the best results that you've seen in your life.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, man. What are your plans, Art? Probably I've only got a couple more questions for myself personally, but what are your plans post military life? Is it going to be all into the health and fitness space and continue a continuation of what you're doing, or what are you planning?
Well, if I do end up serving, I'm gonna probably finish my 20-year
Yep.
service, and from there, I'm originally from New York City, so I'm gonna go back to New York, and I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I won't want to do the Iron Wolf thing anymore. I'm not.
Yep.
I'm not set on maybe doing it for the rest of my life or for years. Right now, I'm just kind of playing it by ear. I would like to continue serving in a kind of civil capacity. I always wanted to be a firefighter, um,
Awesome.
uh, so maybe that'll be part of my story. I'll get out of the military, maybe be a firefighter, something like that. I just
Yep.
like being a civil servant, and I like that regiment. I like the uniformity kind of stuff, and continue have that discipline, and have a profession that requires you to be physically fit as well. That's very important for me. So that's kind of my loose plan right now. But like I think anything could happen, and life is unexpected.
Yeah,
So
true. No.
All right, a quick question. New York, favorite '90s hip hop album?
uh, so I love the Beastie Boys. Uh,
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys are great. I grew up listening to Biggie, Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah,
all that stuff. Nas, yeah. But love the
Illma.
Beastie Boys. Yeah, Beastie Boys were very very fair because they're from Brooklyn, and
Yeah.
I grew up in Brooklyn, so
Yeah.
hometown heroes.
Actually,
Nice.
because your parents and yourself are Russian heritage, right?
Yes.
Did they speak? Do you speak Russian in the home or with your parents and that sort of stuff growing up, or still
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
Yeah. I speak fluent Russian. I speak Russian with my parents. They're very traditional,
Mm,
old school Russian family. Yeah, I grew up in that culture. My dad was an athlete in Russia. He was on the Olympic weightlifting team.
wow.
Yeah,
What weight category was your dad lifting in?
middleweight. He was a
Middleweight.
middleweight. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. And did you go down that path? Were you doing a lot of the sort of Olympic weightlifting type stuff?
No,
Right.
no, weights never appealed to me.
Yeah. Right.
I used to lift like the first like couple of years in the Marine Corps, but that's because everybody was doing it. All the guys would go to the gym and they would bench and curls and
Yeah.
deadlift, and I did that for a little bit. I did do it with a lot of intensity and I did it the right way, but I just felt like it wasn't for me. I wasn't interested in it, and I was like, yeah, just and then I found kind of my calling through high rep bodyweight training, and
Awesome.
you know
Awesome.
how that goes.
Yeah. How can with your stuff like the clothing that you've got there? I just want to try to get this out. How can people get to that? They just go to your descriptions in your videos, and then they can click on the links to purchase
Yeah, or they could go to ironwolfshop.com.
ironwolfshop.com.
Yep,
Cool.
and yeah, we got all kind of merch if they want to support,
Yeah.
and also if they want to get supplements, SNAP supplements. If they use the code Iron Wolf, they get 20% off their
Awesome.
order. So for whoever's interested.
Awesome, man. And the main places where we can get you, obviously the Iron Wolf shop email or website. We've got your Iron Wolf YouTube channel, Iron Wolf on Instagram.
Yep, Iron Wolf on Instagram. It's going to be the Iron Wolf 718, and there's an underscore between each word.
Right. The Iron Wolf 718 and an underscore between each word. Is that what it is now? Did you say?
Yes, that's what it is now. Yeah, it's going to be the underscore Iron underscore Wolf
Wolf.
underscore 718.
Awesome. Beautiful, man. It's so great to hear, mate. From my side, I've learned a lot. Really value and appreciate your time, giving us of your time. So many takeaways from here. Again, just from my side, around leadership and example, around taking care of yourself, around remembering where you come from. That really resonates with me. Remembering where you come from and the way that you try to show that and being authentic and who you are, not giving a rat's about what other people think, and just being yourself and doing the things that help you feel or allow you to be able to move forward in confidence, knowing that you're being a real person, a genuine person. And so your mindset and the stuff that you've shared for our audience, your acknowledgement of this amazing community, which is very positive and supportive, that you've created, that we're lucky enough, we feel very privileged and humble enough to be a small part of. Very, very grateful, Art. I can't put it into words enough how privileged and honored we both, Lee and I, feel. And I know Lee's got a few words that he's going to want to share. But, mate, very, very thankful and appreciative of you, that you would give us of your time, that you would share so openly the stuff that you've shared with us today. And we're grateful that we're part of this community and wish you every success continuing on, that you and your team stay safe, healthy, and well within your service, within the military, within the Marine Corps, that you achieve everything that you want to achieve, and that we hope that you'll continue to pump out the great content that you do, because it is motivating, it is inspiring. We know that we're not going to have you all the time. We acknowledge that it's on us to take action and step forward and do those things. but it certainly helps having somebody like yourself out there leading the way for us. So from myself, Art, thank you very much, brother. Huge respect and appreciation.
Yeah, thank you.
Go on, Hazard. What was that? You felt like Stevie Wonder on a American Ninja.
What a great analogy.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's a perfect analogy. Yeah.
I'm just happy that I don't have to feel guilty eating ice cream anymore. That's my takeaway message for it. So thanks for that, Art.
Yeah, of course.
But no, listen, seriously, I echo Joe's sentiments. And one thing that I'm very happy about is that your workouts have brought me and Joe together and gave us the opportunity to speak to guys like yourself. So it's a privilege to obviously speak to you, but also having your influence help us form connections with other people, like-minded people within the community. And me, myself, personally, you gave me a kick up the arse, got my own YouTube channel started, got on the podcast route and so forth. So, yeah, I could totally humbled by the fact you've decided to come on and share your journey and your experience and your knowledge with us. And it's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Absolutely. I wouldn't miss an opportunity to, come on. If people ask me, then I'm gonna respond to everybody. Like I said, to everybody who supports me, I support them back. It's a two-way street, and I think it's very important for us to continue to, help each other without asking for nothing in return.
Absolutely
doing it genuinely and helping the next man. And to my community, I just want to say thank you for everybody who's been supporting me, who's been liking and commenting and continuing to train alongside me. I'm grateful because we are a team, and we're a family, and we're gonna embrace the suck together.
Love it.
And for those that are, kind of on the verge and they're unsure of the training, just commit. You have to bully yourself so others can't. Bully yourself first, and then everything will be easier. Do what you got to do so you could do what you want to do in the end. And if you have any reservations, just drop that fear. And real quick, I want to say thank you to my friend Billy for helping me push this stuff. And then I'll also like to say thank you to a beautiful woman named Iman. That's my woman. She's been supporting me and helping me. She's my best friend and kind of behind the scenes, the motivation and the backbone. So without putting too much attention on her, she doesn't like you. I just want to say that I appreciate you and thank you. You're my best friend and I love you.
It's very nice, Art. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very
I have
touching.
to throw that in there before I forget.
Definitely beautiful, man.
The wolf has a soft side.
Yeah, right. Speak softly but carry a big stick, right, Teddy Roosevelt?
Jesus.
Mate, awesome.
Pleasure.
Wow, man, that's everything from our side. Huge respect, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
No, privilege.
Pleasure as
Thank
all
you.
ours.